All right, so there were two questions I got. One is, how would you name this? Now, as you get to higher chemistries, you'll realize that this is not really a Googleable name. It depends on how much you know about the electronegativity of things, but so far what we've learned in class is the following. This is a metal, this is a nonmetal, and therefore it must be ionic. So in order to name an ionic compound, you have to ask yourself, hey, do you know the charge of that metal? Well, we only know the charge of things in the first column, the second column, or these situations right here. And molybdenum, which is right here, does not fall in any of those, so we don't know the charge of it. We have to figure it out. So it's MO, we have no idea what its charge is. Let's look at the sulfide here. Sulfur becomes sulfide when it has a charge, an ionic compound. Here we got a 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus or minus, 3 minus, 2 minus. 2 minus is the column where sulfur falls in. So sulfur becomes sulfide when you add a 2 minus charge. But there's two of them, right? So this MOS2, instead of drawing it like this, I'm going to go over here. So this MOS2 thing looks like this, where there's two sulfides, each has a -2 charge. So what must the charge be of molybdenum? Well, in order to count out the total of -4, it must be a +4. And that is why this would be molybdenum 4 sulfide. Let's go backwards just to make sure we've got it. In order to go backwards, if I knew molybdenum 4, that's telling me, hey, it's got a 4 plus charge. We know that sulfide is S2 negative. How many S2 negatives do you need to cancel out that 4 plus? Well, you need 2 of them. And that's why you'd get MOS2 if I gave you the name. So be sure to go back and forth between those two things and you'll be really comfortable. The next question I got was regarding nitrous acid. It said, how many oxygen atoms are in 15 milligrams of nitrous acid? Well, first you need to know what nitrous acid is before you can figure out the rest of this. Nitrous acid, nitrous telling you it's coming from nitrite. Nitrite is NO2 negative. You have to have it memorized. To make it an acid, we have to add an H plus. You need just one H plus to cancel out that one nitrite, and HNO2 would be nitrous acid, assuming it's aqueous. All right, so the next question is how many, now we can actually kind of tackle the question. It says how many oxygen atoms are in 15 milligrams? Well, milli is the same as times 10 to the -3rd. So really it's saying 15 times 10 to the -3rd grams. So we've got to take 15 times 10 to the -3rd grams and turn it into atoms. Well, the first thing you do every time you have grams is divide by the molar mass to put that thing into moles. So we've got 15 times 10 to the -3rd grams. And we have to divide by the molar mass. The molar mass of this, we've got 1.008 for the hydrogen, plus about 14.01 for the nitrogen, plus 2 times 16.00. This I rounded off a little bit. We end up getting 47.01-ish grams. So when we take this, we divide by 47.01 grams per mole of HNO2. Now you're in mole town. Remember, we go from grams to moles to molecules to atoms. So now we're in mole town. We got to go from mole to molecule. We know in a mole there's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd molecules from the last chapter. And now we can go from molecules to atoms. Well, we know a molecule of this HNO2 has a total of 2 oxygen atoms. So 15 times 10 to the -3rd times 6.022 times 2 divided by the 47.01 grams will give you your answer of oxygen atoms. All right, hope this helps. Good luck.